I'm Mortgage Mark, and I'm running for President of the United States. Totally kidding. Hope everybody had a great Memorial Day holiday. That's what the background's for, just to honor those that served our country and paid the ultimate price. So hope everybody took some time to reflect and just be thankful for all of our freedoms here, despite the fact that we're facing a global pandemic. It's obviously a great time to be alive and be an American. So on to this week, mortgage news and other news in general. Mortgage guidelines are starting to loosen up. So if you guys may recall from a couple weeks back, the mortgage world has tightened a little bit, and we're still tighter than normal for things like cash out or FHA loans or jumbos. But we are seeing here in the last week or two some return to normalcy. We're not quite all the way, but we're kind of like mortgage world is imitating reality here. Guidelines are starting to loosen up little by little, and things are starting to return to normal. Not completely there. Still got to wear a mask when you go out in public. Still got to meet some overlays here on the mortgage side, but it's at least getting a little better. So that's good. Let's take a look at a few things that I found of interest as of late. Housing updates. Rates are still relatively flat for the most part, which is good. Again, nice bounce back coming in. New home sales or homes that are being sold. You guys can obviously see the dip, but the dark blue line is us for 2020. It's good. It's good news. I'm happy about that. You see the existing home sales. Again, this is delayed data, but it does show how we were on track for a good year. Now we're obviously in recovery mode at the moment. Rents is what it is, but here's something that echoes what I was talking about for forbearance. So if you guys know somebody's taking mortgage forbearance, or you yourself were considering it, as mentioned in a prior video about a month ago or so, we recommend, if you guys can help it, don't go into forbearance. We would need clients to do the same. So if you guys are in forbearance, try not to. But the good news is, again, the rules, we're all out as an industry together. So as somebody's taking forbearance, if they can play catch up, get caught up on their mortgage, make on-time payments, they then become eligible for new loans. It shouldn't be cash out. There's still a pretty tight stranglehold on that. But if you do know somebody that was looking to refi and maybe was told no because they were either asking about or parents, that's now a new thing. So super pleased about that, about the industry catching up and taking good care of those folks. For COVID, I thought this is relatively new news. I saw this at the end of last week. Basically the CDC says it's not easily spread on surfaces. So that's great. You still should be careful, wear your gloves. But the good news is they're starting to find out a little more about this novel virus. In short, the attorneys, it's funny, good times and bad times, the attorneys are always going to find something. So here's a flood of new lawsuits that are coming against potentially the government for making people go into lockdown and go basically into financial hardships. Economic updates, a lot can change in a week. Check out the purple. This was last week. The projection of when and if and when the Fed might go into negative interest rates. 1 week later, the blue. Now there's not a real strong percentage with just 1 week later of opinion as far as whether we get to negative interest rates. If you're looking to buy an automobile, you're not alone. I think there could be some really good deals out there if you haven't already considered it. I mean, they still got the inventory that was started last year that's coming in for the new models. So at some point, all the auto car salesmen and things like that need to get stuff off their lots. So if that inventory is sitting there, they might be more inclined to do it. But check out the bump of what Google's saying more people are looking for. Sad note here, nearly 1 in 4 workers have applied for unemployment benefits. It's pretty staggering. But the good news, 60% it looks like, or 58% at least, CEOs report that they have a full workforce from pre-COVID. I was really pleased to see this number. Only 4% have decreased by more than 50%. It's still a big 50% when it's your job that's been taken away, but still, it's not too bad. For extras, along that lines, we do have a program for first responders and for anybody in the medical profession that's helping out during the COVID crisis. If they are in fact getting a loan, we'd like to do what we can for them, and there's actually a gift card that comes to them after closing, in addition to waiving all lender fees. If you guys haven't already, sign up. Love to have you be part of our June 17th Zoom meeting. It's a meeting I do with my team once a month. We talk about just personal financials in most cases. We're having somebody come in. Miss Elizabeth here is going to talk to us about life insurance. I have life insurance, but I can almost promise you without a doubt I'm going to walk away learning a whole lot more, and just making sure what I have is current and up to date. So if you haven't already, it's a very informal. Come, put yourself on mute, and if you just want to find out more, I highly recommend it, especially on this topic. Couple of just miscellaneous things. The dark states are the people that are the states that have the most adults living alone. So these are lonely people, apparently. Maybe they're not, they're alone. They may not be lonely. Who knows? But I did think it was interesting. North Dakota has the most people living by themselves. But check it out, all the farm states, or at least a lot of the farm states. Crazy. And then lastly, only, unfortunately, close to 50% of the people celebrated Memorial Day this year, 52%, normally 78%, which then bodes the question, what the heck is that other 22% doing the rest of the time if they're not celebrating this in a normal time period? So I'm proud to be an American. Hope you are too. And then lastly, Bigfoot. Apparently 10% of the population believes in Bigfoot. And you can see it's predominantly, or at least a greater concentration over in the western side of the United States. So there you go. Lastly, I've been sending out a lot of Evan's information to a lot of folks as of the last week or so. If you're getting that notification in the mail about paying your property tax or contesting your property taxes, Evan's the man. He may or may not be in your area to cover it, but at least call him and maybe you can point you in the right direction. But I've used Evan for years. He saved Carolina and me a lot of money, and I highly recommend him. If he doesn't save any money, it doesn't cost you anything to do it. So it's worth at least giving a call or a phone call. Evan's a good man, and highly recommend him. So with all that said, as always, team, we really appreciate you, taking the time to watch this. Hopefully you learned something. And again, the mortgage world's getting a little better day by day, which is great. So if you know somebody that's looking to sell, buy, refi, let us know how we can help. And stay safe, and we'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.